The Resident Evil 3 remake is less than 4 months out, dudes and dudettes, and Capcom isn't as reserved this time around regarding info on the upcoming new title as they were with Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2. Nope, Capcom released the official announcement trailer this year's State of Play event along with a special developer's video message outlining basic elements of the game such as its characters, gameplay mechanics, etc. More information on the Resident Evil 3 remake has come to light thanks to an article by Rourke Keegan published by Rely on Horror. The article's main focus is on the Capcom TV stream commentary for the Resident Evil 3 remake, and they give mention to the Resident Evil superfan Alex Anil, who in his stream of the Capcom TV stream commentary translated everything that was being said. Among the things that were said throughout the stream, Capcom noted that players should expect the Nemesis to be a lot more ferocious than Mr. X was in the Resident Evil 2 remake, and that the Resident Evil 2 remake tried to remain faithful to the original game. However, with Resident Evil 3, they plan on taking more liberties and more risks in changing the story and giving characters like Dario, Rosso, and Brad Vickers more value in the overall story of Resident Evil 3. Now, far be it from us here at GameSomniac to bite the teat from which we suckle, but everybody's treating this remake of Resident Evil 3 as if there's something wrong with the original, and for many years, many fans have believed that Resident Evil 3 was a more lackluster sequel compared to its predecessor. However, that couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, when you look at Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 in terms of reception, Resident Evil 3 holds its own quite well against Resident Evil 2, if not better in certain respects. Resident Evil 3 earned high scores from the same reputable companies as Resident Evil 2, and some companies actually scored Resident Evil 3 higher than they did with Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3 has a certain charm to it, and as I mentioned in my previous video, there are certain events in the original Resident Evil 3 that really define the game, making it the masterpiece that it is. The only reason why Capcom tried to be faithful to the original game with Resident Evil 2 is because it is quite possibly the fan favorite Resident Evil title in the series, and screwing that up would have been the end of Capcom. There's no way that they could have existed with such backlash. So they take little things here and there and they change up some minor details, and overall they play it safe. But now you've got people wanting a remake of Resident Evil 3, the red-headed black step sheep of the family. So yeah, go ahead and change up a bunch of stuff, experiment, get freaky with it. Who cares if this remake goes tits up? At least we got the money. Am I right, Capcom? It's just kind of disheartening because there's a lot of people I've seen online make videos about their expectations for the Resident Evil 3 remake and how great it is, how they're going to see their favorite moments from the original game updated in higher definition, graphically enhanced using the Resident Evil engine. And the sad thing is, your favorite Resident Evil 3 moments are gone. They're not going to keep anything. They're going to rebuild this game from the ground up. It will be a completely brand new game. Nothing from the original game will be spared other than the characters, the enemies, and possible locations. Now, that's not to say that all change is bad. I'm actually quite excited to see what they do with Dario Rosso's character. The only thing I hope is that they keep his cowardice intact, maybe take a page out of the manhwa that was released in Hong Kong in the 90s to promote Resident Evil 3, and show Dario sacrificing his family to the zombies so that he could get away. They could even do this in some sort of DLC playable campaign, much like they did with the Survivors DLC for Resident Evil 2. Now, Brad's change of character I just can't support at all. Brad needs to die. He was made to die. Brad is a scared yellow chicken heart all day every day, and if he ain't deep-throating some hard-throbbing parasitic tentacles in this remake, then I'ma head out. You guys remember the Nightmare on Elm Street remake with Jackie Earle Haley, right? So I'm not a fan of Freddy Krueger at all. I think he's one of the worst horror icons ever, but one of the greatest death scenes in any horror movie comes from A Nightmare on Elm Street when Johnny Depp sinks into the bed and all of a sudden a blood geyser erupts from the center of the bed. It's a beautiful shot. They slow it down. It really savors the moment, and it's such a cool shot. It's almost like a waterfall falling upside down. It's so awesome that they actually forgot to put it into the remake. Yeah, totally slipped their minds. They recreated Tina's death scene, and they recreated that scene with the wall where Freddy Krueger's pushing out, trying to get out of the wall. Now, albeit they did it with CGI instead of practical effects, but they recreated that, and hell, they even recreated the bathtub scene where Freddy Krueger's about to play gynecologist with Nancy. But no! The one really badass scene in the original Nightmare on Elm Street gets the shaft. Also, that Johnny Depp's remake counterpart can have a bigger role. See, when minor characters start getting bigger roles and things in remakes and such, we lose really cool shit that should be included in the remake, but they're not, because it would totally work against the changes that they're making, which are probably unnecessary to begin with. And I get it if you don't like what I'm saying. I mean, it's cool, man. Just tell me how stupid I am in the comments below. And make sure you dislike the video. I was actually just talking to Susan Worcestershire, and she was like, Derek, your videos are amazing. Your stats are up there in the green, man, but those dislikes are in the red, and they're throwing off your analytics. You gotta bump up those numbers on those dislikes, man. Yeah, it was so weird. We were having lunch, and then all of a sudden she proceeded to beat her chest in rhythm with some kind of tribal oh, you know what? I think that's a scene from The Wolf of Wall Street. I was watching that movie the other day. Yeah, that could have been it. Anyway, folks, it's 2020. We've officially made it to the year of the Resident Evil 3 remake. Capcom has already stated that they will be releasing a new trailer focusing on Carlos and the Nemesis sometime this month, so be on the lookout for that. Once that's out, we're going to break that down, analyze it, and just as we do for other games here on the channel, we are going to do an everything that we know about video for the Resident Evil 3 remake. We're just waiting on some more information to surface before we speak out of turn. I know a lot of people are already jumping the gun and making those kinds of videos, but we're professionals, and we prefer to do our research thoroughly, have all the facts together before giving misinformation based on preconceived notions. But that's it for this one, guys and gals. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. We appreciate your support in any way, shape, and form, and if you're interested in seeing more content just like this, consider subscribing to the channel. It's a great way to stay up to date with everything that we're doing, and most importantly, for all things Resident Evil, be sure to keep it locked right here at GameSomniac. Bye-bye!